Excellent. All right. Good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me clearly. And welcome to another episode of Unboxing Rent, the series where we unpack the everyday challenges of property management and show how technology can make them simpler. Today's episode is about tenant referencing, and more specifically, how AI is changing tenant fraud and where our referencing processes are ready for it or not. Okay. Now, this is an important conversation because technology is changing both sides of the rental market. We're using technology to make property management faster, simpler, and more efficient. But the same technology can also make it easier to create information and documents that look incredibly convincing. So tonight, I want to explore a simple question. If the documents you are looking at appear completely genuine, how do you know that they actually are? And perhaps more importantly, what does good tenant referencing look like in this new environment? Tenant referencing isn't new. Landlords and property managers have always needed to understand who they are potentially giving possession of a property to. Can this person afford the rent? Are they employed where they say they are employed? Is the information they provided accurate? What does their previous rental history tell us? But something fundamental is changing. For many years, there's been an assumption that if a document looks professional and the information appears credible, that's a reasonable starting point, right? Technology is making that assumption increasingly dangerous. AI and digital tools are becoming more sophisticated and more accessible. That means creating information that looks convincing is becoming easier. And that changes the question landlords and property managers need to ask. It's no longer enough to ask, does this look genuine? We increasingly need to ask, can I verify that this is genuine? And I'm going to say that again. The questions landlords and property managers need to be asking now is, can I verify that this is genuine? Because that's a different standard altogether. So here's the question I want everyone watching to think about. Imagine somebody applies for one of your properties tomorrow. They give you a payslip. They give you a bank statement. They provide an employment reference. Everything matches. The format looks right. The numbers make sense. The documents looks professional. There are no obvious flags. Question is, how confident are you that they are actually genuine? Not that they look genuine, but that they are genuine, because those are two different things. And this is why modern tenant referencing matters. The job of referencing isn't simply to collect documents. The job of referencing is to make better informed decisions about the person who may be occupying your property. Okay. Now, this is the shift I really want landlords and property managers to understand. Tenant referencing used to rely quite heavily on the question, does this document look genuine? Today, like I said earlier, the better question is, can I verify the information this applicant or potential tenant has provided? And notice that I said information, not simply documents, because good referencing shouldn't look at a piece of information in isolation. You want to understand the applicant as a whole. Does their stated income correspond with their employment? Does their affordability make sense? Does their identity match? Does their rental history support the information that they have provided? Does everything fit together? That moves from appearance to verification, and that makes it quite important. To be fair, increasingly important. So, where does AI come into this? AI and digital editing tools can make it easier to create or manipulate things like payslips, bank statements, employment information, and other supporting documents. And I want to be careful here. The message isn't every applicant is dishonest. Far from it. Most people looking for somewhere to live are simply trying to find a home. The issue is that appearance alone is becoming a weaker form of verification. And that's the risk. If technology makes it easier for false information to look credible, then our processes need to become better at verifying the information behind the document. So the answer isn't suspicion. The answer is better verification. And that is important, or that is an important distinction. Okay? There is another side to this conversation. If you own or manage properties, an empty property costs you money. Every day without a tenant can mean lost rental income. So naturally, when you've got a suitable looking applicant that is ready to move in, there is pressure to get the tenancy completed. And that's fair, right? But sometimes the cost of making the wrong tenancy decision can be considerably greater than the cost of waiting a little longer to make the right one. A rushed decision can lead to rent arrears, disputes, property damage, difficult tenancy management, lost rental income, additional costs, and of course, significant amounts of time and stress. And that's why the objective shouldn't simply be how quickly can I feel this property. It should be how confidently can I make a well-informed tenancy decision. Because getting somebody into the property is only the beginning. Then you have to manage that tenancy. So what should a strong referencing process look like? I'll suggest thinking about 5 things. Number 1, identity. Is this applicant actually who they say they are? Number 2, affordability. Does the financial information available support their ability to afford the rent long term? The third is employment. Does their employment and income information match the wider picture that they are presenting? And the fourth, what does their previous tenancy history tell you? Finally, consistency. This one is particularly important. Does the information across the application make sense together? Because sometimes the red flag isn't contained in one document. It appears when you compare several pieces of information and something simply doesn't add up. That's why good referencing is about looking beyond the individual documents and understanding the whole picture. So, where does the process commonly break down? One of the biggest problems is simply rushing. The property is empty. Every day the property is empty represents lost income. There's an applicant ready to proceed. So there's the temptation to move very quickly. Another mistake is relying too heavily on the documents themselves without properly verifying the information behind them. Sometimes checks are skipped because an applicant looks suitable. And then there's something we talk about a lot at Rent: fragmentation. One document is sitting in an email, another is saved on someone's laptop, information is being tracked in a spreadsheet, someone else has notes somewhere else, and before long, nobody has one clear view of the referencing process. This isn't necessarily because people are managing properties badly. It is because they are often trying to manage modern property portfolio using disconnected tools and processes that were never designed to work together. And that's precisely the kind of operational problem we're trying to solve with rents. So let me show you where rent comes into this equation. We have tried to make the journey very simple. Request, verify, review, decide, record. That simply means that with rent, landlords and property managers can start a tenancy reference request directly against a tenant on our platform. You can request and capture the relevant applicant information. That information can then be submitted to our referencing partner, Let Alliance, for the appropriate referencing check. You can then manage the referencing journey, review the information that is returned, make tenancy decision, and most importantly, keep the applicant informed, the applicant information and records organized as part of the wider property management process. Because referencing shouldn't exist as an isolated activity. It's part of a much bigger journey. You find the tenant, you reference them, you onboard them, you manage the tenancy, you collect rent, you manage maintenance, you maintain records. Eventually, that tenancy ends and another begins. Our thinking at Rent is simple. Why should all of those processes live in different places? So we have simplified the journey by ensuring that you have everything that you need under one roof. So I'll leave you with this. AI isn't making tenant referencing less important. It is making good tenant referencing more important. The ability to produce something that looks credible is becoming easier. That means the ability to verify, review, and understand information properly becomes more valuable. And for landlords and property managers, this goal isn't to become fraud investigators. The goal is to have a process you can trust, a process that can help you make better informed decisions, a process that keeps relevant information organized, and the process that sits naturally alongside everything else you already need to do to manage your portfolio. That's what we are building at Rent. Or should I say better, that's what we have built at Rent. Everything under one roof. If you like to see how tenant referencing works within Rent, or explore how Rent can help you manage your wider property management processes, visit rentt.app. Okay, and thank you for joining me on another episode of Unboxing Rent. And remember, when it comes to tenant referencing, don't simply ask, does it look genuine? Rather, we encourage you to ask, can I verify it? Before I wrap up this session today, we are making an offer, and that offer is a 90-day offer, starting on the 1st of September to the, I think, 29th of November. Okay. During the 90 days, for every 3 tenant referencing that is completed, you will get a £10 Amazon voucher. So why not try tenant referencing on Rent? Sign up today. It's simple to use. Get your property listed on the platform. Find a tenant, literally, and when you find one, get their referencing done via the platform. Like I said earlier, what we've built at Rent enables you to have everything that you need, both for property management and tenancy management, under one roof. Thank you very much for your time today. If you've got any questions, I'm just going to look quickly if there are any questions on IG. No questions yet. If you've got questions, I'm happy to take questions now. Otherwise, you can raise them with us later in your own time. Any questions? Okay. No questions coming through. Oh, okay. There's just one that's come through. How do you check the authenticity of the documents? Well, the authenticity of the documents, to be fair, the message we're trying to pass across is that you, as a property manager or a landlord, should not become a document authenticity investigator, right? What we have is we have an inbuilt process and technology with our partners that verifies the authenticity, the credibility of the information on every document, and then you are sure that you are getting a trusted view or a trusted validation, not just of the document, but of the combined information that's been provided by the prospective tenants. I hope that answers your question, Amanda. Maybe just to add to that, so we have partnered with Let's Alliance, and in the spirit of having everything in one place, it means our users don't have to have information all in different systems or tools or technologies. So you are in one place, you get referencing done, you get tenancy management, you manage your every other document. You can collect your rent. You can manage repairs and maintenance, everything in one place. So thanks, Amanda. So the service that Rent provides is we give property managers, landlords in the rental space a simple technology that enables them to do everything, from listing your property to finding tenants to tenant referencing as discussed, to managing the tenancy, in-app communication. So every communication sits in one place. So there's no trying to forage between WhatsApp and emails. You can do your financial tracking. You can manage all the documents associated with each property. You can share documents, regulatory documents, with the tenant. You can get reminders when something is about to expire, and then you can manage repairs and maintenance. Your tenants are able to raise issues. You convert those issues into projects, get a tradesperson to get the job done, pay them, everybody's happy, everything literally in one place. Amanda, that's a big question. It has the capacity to, so which is why our vision is to empower landlords and property managers that would rather want to self-serve to do that. So there are landlords, there are property managers that will rather work with the typical high street letting agents. That's fine. But for those that want to self-serve, rather than them leveraging multiple tools and managing their portfolio becomes another work itself, we have designed and developed a tool that enables them to do that easily and seamlessly. And I hope that answers your question. Excellent. Thanks, Amanda. Any more questions? Good stuff. Don't forget, we are running a 90-day offer for every not for every. I think the terms and conditions will state that for every 3 tenant referencing completed, you get a £10 Amazon gift card. Now, what that could look like is if you've got a new tenant, a family moving into your property, and the family comprised of maybe a couple and at least a child that is above 18, that is 3 referencing done in one, right? Which qualifies straight away for a £10 gift card. That is just our give back to encourage more landlords to not just try and verify documents on their own, taking a risk. And to be fair, one of our customers at some point had issues with a tenant, and they ended up spending in excess of £10,000 before they could get them out. And they had arrears and bills were accruing. I mean, it's not a good place to be. So it's one of those decisions that must be right from the very start. And we are here to help you ensure that this is done right. So once again, thank you very much for your time. And I will look forward to seeing you at the next unboxing rent, which will be towards the end of September. Have a good evening. If you've got any more questions, please do not hesitate to drop them in the chat or reach out to us directly at hello@rentt.app. Have a good evening, everyone. Bye for now.